All right, we'll be calling to order the meeting of the Planning Commission on December 15th, 2016. Pledge of Allegiance. Bianca. Thank you.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Roll call, David?
Good evening. Tonight, Vice Chair Buckner has been excused from tonight's proceedings, so a roll call vote and the minutes will reflect that. Commissioner Lightfoot?
Here.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Geluccio?
Here.
Commissioner Elchel?
Here.
Chair Agai?
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion? Move. Second. All right, there we go, and then there we go. All right, let's vote. And motion passes.
Motion passes unanimous.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. So we're approving the minutes for 2 meetings, correct?
No, just for one, for the November 17th for approval, and then the December 1st would be for continuance to the next.
Understood. So we are moving the approval of, do we do that as 2 separate motions?
You can do it all at once. That's
One
fine.
motion approving the minutes.
Brandon, you already seconded.
Okay, there we go. Let's just, yeah, there you go. Awesome.
Okay, that would be for November 17th, unanimous approval.
Correct, thank you. And public comment, do we have any slips?
We have one. Steve Martin?
Thank you.
Steve Martin, West Hollywood. At the last city council meeting, we were having a discussion about the influence of money in the decision-making process in West Hollywood, particularly in regard to planning, and the role of money in city council elections. And I had pointed out that there seemed to be a remarkable coincidence in how Townsgate, which had given $20,000 to an independent expenditure campaign to re-elect 2 of the incumbents, was able to get pretty much everything they ever wanted, both in regard to their project on 8899 Beverly and in regard to their situation up on our border with the Frank Gehry building at Sunset and Crescent Heights. Thereafter, one of the city council members, John Duran, was rather dismissive, saying that I wasn't credible because I was a candidate for city council. But I would also remind the public that Mr. Duran is a candidate for city council, and if he's going to have to run on his record, he's going to have a lot of explaining to do. I've been around a long time, and I know when city council members say that they get this money from developers because developers love our progressive city and they love our progressive council members, that I'm real skeptical of that. Because what happens is developers come and go. They're very generous at election time when they have a project before the city, and after that, they disappear. And somehow they forget their admiration for our city and their admiration for some specific council members. So it seems a bit disingenuous to claim that money doesn't buy influence in this town. And also the proof is in the pudding. In the last election, you saw that independent expenditure campaign, which raised over $150,000 for the incumbents who were running. And it was huge amounts of money given by developers. Now, these guys are capitalists. They're not philanthropists. They give money to council members because they know it gets results. And I think it insults our intelligence if we don't have this discussion and we're honest about it. And it's really time for us to really think about what the general plan means, because apparently it means nothing. It's the opening bid for almost every development. And I understand we need to be flexible, and I don't think anybody is against development. People want to see West Hollywood renewed, but we want to see good development. We want to see development that's adequately parked, development that doesn't knock down and demolish rent-controlled housing. And, you know, I think we can have a conversation that's positive about the direction of the city and positive about development, because development has brought many good things to West Hollywood. But we also need to be careful about irresponsible development, which unfortunately we see all too much of. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. So we'll go on to the next item, the director's report. John?
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Just have a few items from the last City Council meeting to update everyone on. And some big news, at the last City Council meeting, the Council awarded a contract for the construction of West Hollywood Park Phase 2. So that includes the new aquatic and recreation center, additional open space, and improvements to the park. And so construction is anticipated to start in January. So that's big news that we've been working on for a long time. Also, the City Council directed staff to work with the City Attorney's Office to go back and look at the menu of options related to bonuses, incentives, and concessions as they apply to affordable housing projects, and go back to the City Council with alternatives to what's currently in our zoning regulations. Another item, the City Council approved the Norma Triangle Design Guidelines and Overlay Zone, so that was an item that the Commission heard a month or two ago, so that was approved, and that will go into effect, I believe, in 60 days. Two last items, the City Council approved the easement vacation for the project at 8899 Beverly, and they did add a condition that we look at relocating the trees in that area to the parkways so we can try to save some of those trees. And then they also directed us to work with the city's public benefit consultant to determine a value for public benefit of the easement. So we will be following through on that. And then finally, on the City Council agenda, we had an item giving them an update on our multifamily study. We were anticipating going forward with a speaker series in which we'd bring together folks to hear more about different aspects of housing. The City Council gave us some comments on the proposed speaker series, and they asked us to have the series take place in the spring. So we will be scheduling those meetings during the spring. And that's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Items from commissioners. Commissioner Jones.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Commissioner Galuccio.
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Altschul. Nothing. Commissioner Lightfoot.
Yes, I'd just like to take the opportunity to ask David DeGrazia to clarify. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding. He reported to us that there was a director's review on the Catch Restaurant. Can you please just kind of update us and just give us a status on what that review entails and what's going on?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So the Planning Commission had put a condition on Catch Restaurant that there be 3 reviews at 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. They had it listed as a director's review, which means that staff performs a review. The 3-month date just passed a couple of days ago, so we did meet just internally with our code compliance division, the planner on the project, myself, and the assistant director to start the review process. As part of that process, we will be contacting the Sheriff's Department, looking at different complaints that have been made from neighbors, and also meeting with the neighborhood representative as well as Catch. And when we have the results of that, we will return to the commission in January, I believe on the 19th, and we can provide an update of what we found for that review.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I just have a question. So have there been a lot of complaints?
There have been some complaints.
Okay. And related to, I'm guessing, noise?
Yeah, primarily noise related.
Are they coming from West Hollywood West? Or, that's
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, they're on the streets kind of closest to Melrose there in the West Hollywood West area.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And with that, we will go on to item 9A, the consent calendar for the Public Benefits Framework Update. Do we have a motion? Oh, we have a speaker on the item. Is that correct? Oh, he's still on there. Never mind. Would someone like to second it?
I'll second it.
Oh, there we go. And let's call the question. Thank you.
It was an excellent report.
Motion passes unanimous. It's a receive and file.
Thank you. And with that, we will go on to our public hearing, item 10A, 9015 Sunset Boulevard. Do we have a staff report?
Thank you, Chair Guy
Thank you.
and Commissioners. I'm Adrian Gallo with the City's Current Planning Division. The proposed project is located at 9015 Sunset Boulevard. On the screen is an aerial overview of the subject property, which is located on the north side of Sunset Boulevard. The applicant is requesting to remove an existing legal non-conforming double-sided roof-mounted sign and install a freestanding double-sided 14-foot by 48-foot vertical billboard atop a new distinctive pole. The proposed billboard is 89 feet 5 inches in height as measured from the sidewalk to the top of the billboard. Because the current proposal includes a revised design that the Planning Commission has not considered, the Commission is being asked to provide a new recommendation to the Council. At the August 4, 2016 Planning Commission meeting, the Commission recommended approval of a static, double-sided, vertically mounted billboard with dimensions measuring 14 feet wide by 48 feet high and a total height of a sign structure measuring 83 feet tall. The existing vertical freestanding on-site rainbow sign was to be removed to integrate the signage of the restaurant with the billboard. A new sign for the Rainbow Bar and Grill consisting of vertically oriented individually rainbow letters and a separate circular bar and grill sign was to be mounted just beneath the billboard. After hearing comments made at the August 4th PC meeting, expressing regret over the proposed removal of the existing rainbow sign, the applicant has submitted a revised proposal to the city that retains the existing rainbow bar and grill sign as originally proposed in an earlier iteration of this project and omits the vertically mounted rainbow lettering and circular bar and grill sign from the proposed billboard. To prevent any conflicts with the existing rainbow sign, the proposed billboard must be raised 6 feet 5 inches. One other change includes making the steel plates that form the hexagon around the support structure a darker color. Although these changes did not result in any potentially significant effects that were not already identified in the previous mitigated negative declaration, and in fact reduced its effects as compared to the project originally proposed, the city updated the MND to reflect this new information. Based on CEQA guidelines, recirculation of the MND prior to adoption is not required. This conclusion is based on the fact that no new significant effects have been identified since the start of public review, no new mitigation measures were added, and the text of the document has not been substantially revised in a matter requiring recirculation. The proposed project enhances the Sunset Strip with a new, distinctively oriented and designed billboard without distracting from the existing visual aesthetics of the Sunset Strip. Staff supports the changes to the billboard and recommends that the Planning Commission recommend that the City Council approve the proposed project. The intent and goals of the Sunset Specific Plan are achieved and furthered by the project. I am available for any questions along with the environmental consultant from DUDEC. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we will open up the public hearing. The applicant's representative will have 10 minutes to speak should they need it, with 5 minutes for rebuttal should you need it, and speakers will have 3 minutes apiece.
Mr. Chair, honorable commissioners, I will not take 10 minutes. We've been here a couple times before. So I will do this pretty quickly. My name is Aaron Green. I'm with the AFRIA Consulting Group. We have the privilege of representing Ace Outdoor and the Magliari and Adler families, who are the property owners here. Adrian just kind of mentioned why we're back. We made this one modest change out of an abundance of caution. We thought it was the right procedural step to come and revisit with you. This is a very simple change. Instead of having the letters on the pole, we're keeping the original can sign in place, raising it 6 feet 5 inches. Just a friendly reminder, and Adrian touched on it for a moment, that there was originally the proposal that was presented to this commission and recommended for approval in 2014 was at 110 feet, and that maintained the rainbow sign in its existing condition. I want to go back and just thank staff, because they have spent, especially Adrian, many, many years on this project, and we wouldn't be here without him and without them. And I don't know that I've ever worked longer with the city attorney's office on a given case, so thank you very much as well. There are a couple of questions that might come up when it relates to this sign as we made this change. One, hey, is the lighting going to be any different? Well, so we had a lighting study in 2014 that analyzed this sign at 110 feet. We had the one that you guys looked at in August that had us at 83 feet. Adrian mentioned, staff went back, looked at all the numbers, said, hey, is something in the middle going to be any different than in either of these other options? And the science says it's not going to be. The question about the sign itself, is the rainbow historic? And if it is, does this sign, this can sign, contribute to the historic nature of the building? Is it somehow a defining feature of the building? Well, we've chose to make sure that we don't have any impact on that can sign. We're keeping the sign in place, and the addition of the billboard, as our MND says, would not have any impact either on the operations or the appearance of the property. We don't need to recirculate, given that there is not a substantial change, and under CEQA, unless there's a substantial change, you don't have to recirculate, although we did have significant discussions about doing so. I just want to remind this commission that we have been engaging with our neighbors for years. As I mentioned, this sign was first approved in its first iteration in 2010. Since that time, we've canvassed our neighbors, residential, business, West Hollywood, City of Los Angeles. We've done numerous postings, mailings, things like that. We even tweeted to more than 6,000 people for this last hearing, and there are no opponents here. We've been doing a really long and diligent job talking with our neighbors. So I just want to, in closing, we've been here, we've had a lot of conversation about this sign, but this sign is a really great sign. When you look at the pole, when you look at the way that it's positioned, when you look at the thought that's gone into this and the design that Lorcan O'Hurley has done with staff and with our team over the last several years, when you look at how much it's been studied, we've actually done 2 MNDs for this sign. I don't think that there's ever been a billboard more studied in the city of West Hollywood. When you look at the benefits, both in terms of the more than $3 million that this delivers to support public services, as well as removing some existing non-conforming signage, this is really the type of proposal that we want. This provides the capital infusion to the Rainbow Bar and Grill so that it can not only be sustained but thrive for generations into the future, and it can be something that future generations enjoy as well. So I just ask that you move this and recommend approval, and really thank you for the time.
Thank you.
And I'm here for questions.
Oh, any questions for the applicant? Representative? Let's do some disclosures. Is any at this time? We'll start with Stacy.
Sure. I did meet with the applicant's representative. We discussed what was contained in the staff report.
I have no disclosures.
I drive by there twice a day.
I spoke with the applicant's representative over the phone, and everything we've discussed is contained in the staff report.
I just received an email.
Thank you. And with that, we will go to our first speaker, Steve Martin, followed by Keith Kaplan.
Steve Martin, West Hollywood, and I should make a disclosure of my own. I love the pizza at the Rainbow. When this process started, Aaron was in 8th grade, and I think this has kind of been a really not exemplary process for us. But I have to commend the applicant and actually the consultant. I think everybody's been working really hard to get this sign through. Frankly, I don't want to open a can of worms. I really like the iteration several years back with the really sweeping sign, which probably most of us don't remember. But there's a lot of good things to be said about this sign. This is a landmark business. This is a minor concession which is going to have great economic impacts on the applicant, and it's positive, and it's something that's going to help keep that tradition of rock and roll on the Strip. And I have to say, I do appreciate the fact that the original rainbow sign will continue to be there. So I guess we're having a happy ending, and that should make all of my preservationist friends. It certainly makes me happy. But I think everybody should be commended. Staff, it's been a long road. It really, the long road and the delays are really can't be laid at anyone's doorstep who's present tonight. But I think we've all tried to see this happen, and thank you for all your work.
Thank you. Keith Kaplan, followed by Mike Maglieri.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Keith Kaplan. I'm Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce and a 30-year resident of West Hollywood. I want to commend staff as well as the applicant who've worked very, very hard on this project over a very long period of time. And I think they've come up with a very fine solution. They've addressed the concerns that have been heard at past meetings, retaining the iconic rainbow sign. The new positioning of the sign actually allows for greater visibility of the Roxy sign. The structure of the sign is aesthetically pleasing, and as someone who for 25 years in my advertising career did a number of signs on Sunset Boulevard, the iconic signs that have become a legacy of Sunset Boulevard, I think the community should welcome the format, the size, and the positioning of this sign, which will really add to this legacy that we've held on to and we're now promoting for outdoor creativity and outdoor art on Sunset Boulevard. I also think it is important to note that the legacy of Sunset Strip and the music community in Sunset Strip is so important to West Hollywood, and we are losing live music venues, and the support that this will give to the Rainbow Room and enabling them to stay open, I think, is very important to the city. So I encourage you to please accept and support the approval of this ACE Outdoor effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Maglieri.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Mike Maglieri, and here on behalf of my family as the owner of the Rainbow Bar and Grill and longtime member of West Hollywood community. I strongly urge the Commission to support our creative billboard and pole. We believe this sign will add to the unique legacy of the Sunset Strip and help write the next chapter of the Sunset Strip. I'm glad that after a collaborative discussion with the city, we will bring the old grandfather signage at our property down to better integrate the rainbow with a visual mix of groundbreaking signage on Sunset Boulevard. This creative billboard and pole will help ensure the iconic Rainbow Bar and Grill stays in business and continues as a fixture of the Sunset Strip. We are very happy with the plan before you this evening, which allows us to retain our existing rainbow sign in place and hope that this can now move forward to City Council. On behalf of my family and everyone who knows and loves the Rainbow Bar and Grill, I urge the Commission to approve our application this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the applicant have a rebuttal? No? Okay. Any questions for staff or the applicant? So with that, I will close the public hearing, and I was going to do it. You beat me to it. Well, before we vote, does anybody have anything to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that I'm actually really pleased that the original Rainbow Room sign will be remaining on site should this be approved. I do intend to support it. Full disclosure, not a technical disclosure, but full candor, I was a little sheepish that I kind of didn't think of it myself to keep it there. So I'm pleased that the new design will include the original Rainbow Room sign, and again, I'll be supporting it. So
Wonderful. Any other comments?
Yes, I'm sorry that Vice Chair Buckner isn't here tonight, because she and I, the last time, were almost pleading to keep the original Rainbow Bar and Grill sign. So I'm just, I don't think I've ever said the word thrilled before sitting up here, but I think I'm thrilled about this. This was a really good solution in any number of ways, and I think it might also be good for staff to note for when it goes to City Council that with bringing back the Rainbow Bar and Grill sign and integrating that, it is going to be consistent with the Commercial Historic Resources Survey, and also with a new item that was just approved that Council members Duran and D'Amico brought forward to work on the Sunset Strip to study what they can do to enhance the Sunset Strip experience. So I think keeping that sign is just really a plus for both of those. And I thank you so much for doing the work to come up with this solution. I think it's really good.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, with that, let's vote.
And motion is unanimous. There is no appeal process, since this is going directly to City Council.
Thank you. So with that, we will move on to item 10B, 1125 North Kings Road. Staff report, Jennifer, please.
Good evening, thank you. My name is Jennifer Alkire. I'm a senior planner here at the City of West Hollywood. The item before you tonight is for 1125 Kings Road. It is the reapproval of a tract map that was approved originally in 2009, along with the 10-unit building that is currently under construction and nearing completion. While the building was under construction, the tract map entitlement expired earlier this year, and so the applicant was it was necessary for the applicant to resubmit an application for the tract map, and it goes through the same process, which is why we're here. Nothing has changed on the project, and nothing changes as a result of this. It is exactly the same as what was approved previously. Here we see the site map. The site location is on Kings Road, just north of Santa Monica. And here we see the site plan of the currently requested subdivision map, which is the same, again, is the same as what was approved previously. Staff recommends approval of the tract map at this time, and I'm here for any questions.
Any questions for staff? All right, hearing none. Let's make our disclosures earlier this time. Any disclosures? Start with Stacy again.
I have no disclosures to make.
None.
None.
And none for me either. So we will go on to the applicant's representative has 10 minutes to speak should they choose to use it, or the applicant. You're going to waive it? Okay. And there are no other speakers on this item. So
I move the staff recommendation is seconded.
there we go.
It's already done.
And let's vote. David?
And motion passes unanimously.
I know, right?
The resolution the Planning Commission just approved memorializes the Commission's final action on this matter. This action is subject to appeal to the City Council. Appeals must be submitted within 10 calendar days from this date to the City Clerk's office. Appeals must be in writing and accompanied by the required fees. The City Clerk's office can provide appeal forms and information about a waiver of fees.
Thank you. So with that, we'll go on to item 11, new business, there's none. Item 12, unfinished business, there's none. Item 13, excluded consent calendar, none. Item 14, items from staff, planning manager's update.
Only that our next meeting on January 5th has been canceled, so we will be back here on January 19th.
Thank you very much. So with that, we will go on to public comment. Do we have any speakers?
No.
We have none. Items from commissioners, we'll start this side. Commissioner Lightfoot.
Happy holidays.
Commissioner Alchel.
Same.
Commissioner Lucia.
Happy holidays.
Commissioner Jones.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you.
Happy holidays to everybody from me as well. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting to our next meeting, which will be January 19th. Thank you very much.